Before we begin, a big thanks to the voice actor, Nick Cortez. His link will be in the description. Let's begin with Mace Windu front-kicking Palpatine, causing him to drop his lightsaber and fall on his back. Windu holds his amethyst blade at the neck of the Sith Lord and looks over to his right as Anakin walks in.
Anakin, I told you it would come to this. The Jedi are taking over.
The oppression of the Sith will never return. You have lost.
I submit, Windu. I am at your mercy. Please, there's nothing I can do against your Jedi power.
Don't think I'll fall for any of your tricks, Palpatine.
I wouldn't dream of it.
The Chancellor responded, the skin at the corner of his eyes crinkling as he smiled. Windu grabs a pair of handcuffs that fully cover the Chancellor's hands, and he, alongside Anakin, escorts him out of the room.
You have to help me, Anakin. Don't let the Jedi kill me.
But Anakin remains silent, still heavily conflicted, and they take Palpatine to the Jedi Temple. The Council is contacted, informed of the situation, and all members are ordered to return to Coruscant immediately. However, news of the arrest spread throughout Coruscant and beyond, rippling out through the Galactic Republic. The Senate was in uproar, with cries of treason, conspiracy, and an urgent call for justice. The Senate demanded the Jedi return Palpatine for a fair trial in front of the Republic courts, and demanded them to explain the reasoning for his arrest. The Jedi have no choice but to accept, and the trial of the Chancellor will take place the next day. However, that night, Anakin manages to sneak past the temple guards and visit Palpatine, who is aware of his trial the following day. Anakin was plagued by a sense of uncertainty. He couldn't help but remember Palpatine's kindness and mentorship. What if the Jedi were wrong?
Anakin.
Palpatine greeted warmly, as if they were meeting in his comfortable office, not a cell.
I've been expecting you, my boy. I am weak. Help me.
Palpatine, why did you surrender?
Sometimes, Anakin, the innocent must become martyrs to expose the true villains.
He begged Palpatine to share the secrets of the Force to save Padme from death, but the Sith Lord explains how only through combining their power can they discover the secret which his master invented. In order to do so, Anakin must delve deep into the depths of the dark side and turn his back on the treacherous Jedi Order, breaking free from the dogmatic view of the Jedi. Only then can they begin to discover the secret. Anakin bows his head. He knows what he has to do. He'll do anything to save his wife, and proclaims he will join Palpatine and asks him what needs to be done. Palpatine tells Anakin he's done well and tells him the plan for the following day. The next day, the Jedi Council escorts Palpatine, in handcuffs, into the Senate chambers. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Senate was filled to the brim, senators from countless systems watching. Palpatine stood alone, facing the entire galaxy's judgment. Mas Amedda runs the session, asking the Jedi to present their evidence backing their arrest. Mace Windu takes the stage. He proclaims Palpatine is the Sith Lord Darth Sidious, the one the Jedi have been searching for over 10 years. The Sith Lord in control of both sides of the Clone War, and showed proof that Darth Tyrannus was the individual behind the facilitation of the Clone Army, but they recently learned that Tyrannus was none other than the name of Count Dooku. Dooku created the Clone Army, but also led the Separatist movement, and Palpatine, or Sidious, was his master. They were linked. They attempted to create a galactic conflict so vast and destructive that it would turn the Republic against the Jedi Order, and it seems their plan is succeeding. Windu hoped to show recording of his duel with Palpatine, but it seems his allies in the bureaucracy were quick to delete all history of it. Mas Amedda asks Mace if there's anything else, who states he's finished. Mas Amedda then speaks to Windu's claims, firstly stating that it is not illegal to be a Sith, as under the Religious Freedoms Act, any religion can be practiced in the Republic. But secondly, what's said about Dooku might be correct. However, there's no evidence pertaining to a relationship between Palpatine and Dooku. In the past, so-called Sith haven't worked together and have been a part of different factions. But most importantly, there is no evidence to Palpatine being a Sith at all. Amedda then calls for Palpatine to take stage and argue his innocence.
Esteemed members of the Galactic Senate, I am innocent. What has transpired here is the Jedi's feeble attempts to take control of the Republic. Blinded by their dogmatic and self-righteousness, saw me as a threat to their own power, a scapegoat for their own failures in the war. And now they make up heinous charges against me. I have dedicated my entire life to the Republic, and if there's one thing I've learned, is that the Jedi are the true enemy of democracy.
Cheers erupted and echoed throughout the Senate chamber, and Palpatine looked not at the senators, but at the Jedi present, almost taunting them. The Senate is left to vote, and the following hour will determine the fate of the galaxy. The Jedi Council attempt to control their nerves. The Sith are right in front of them. All they have to do is take them out, but doing so will turn the galaxy against them. They have to hope and trust the Senate will come to the correct conclusion. However, when the verdict came, it sent shockwaves throughout the Republic. The Senate found Palpatine innocent of all charges, and the chamber once again erupted into applause. Palpatine was restored to his position of Chancellor with even more support than before. He takes the stage.
Thank you all for having faith in me. My resolve has never been stronger. We will win this war, but first, I deem the Jedi enemies of the Republic. Their religion is to blame for the destruction and pain of the galaxy. They must be hunted down and defeated. My first command as reinstated Chancellor is to execute Order 66.
The Jedi Council members in the chamber are shocked. They all clasp their heads as they feel the death of countless Jedi around the galaxy. Stas Ali and Kit Fisto are caught off guard and shot down by the clones in the chamber. They begin rushing the halls, and the council can sense thousands of them approaching their position. Meanwhile, Anakin and Sidious have left towards the Jedi Temple alongside thousands of clones who march the archaic halls, killing Jedi all around. Anakin's strength in the dark side grows as he fully immersed himself in the darkness. The council members were forced to scatter over Coruscant, and the planet was sent into a wide lockdown as the clones hunted them down. Yoda and Ki-Adi-Mundi returned to the Jedi Temple, but were hunted down and finished off by Anakin, Sidious, and the clones. The rest of the council members begin to fall one by one. Saisi Tin, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Oppa Rancisis, as the clones hunt down their prey. Anakin and Sidious join the hunt, focusing on one man, Mace Windu. Sidious and Anakin's desire for revenge fuels them in the 2v1 duel, and they emerge victorious. The Jedi were defeated, and only a few scattered around the galaxy remained. Anakin was sent to murder the Separatist leaders, and when he returns, together alongside Palpatine, they announce the end of the war and the formation of the Galactic Empire. After this, Anakin heads back to his home on Coruscant to see Padme. In this timeline, Obi-Wan never spoke to Padme, so never learns of the terrible things Anakin has done. When he arrives, Padme confronts him, asking about the Jedi and how he could support Palpatine and his empire. Firstly, he explains the treason of the Jedi, how he saw them attack the Chancellor with his own eyes, and forge fake evidence against him in order to gain control of the Republic. He says how he wishes it was different, as he has lost many friends in the Jedi, including his brother, Obi-Wan, but that it was necessary to maintain galactic peace. Secondly, Anakin talks about how Palpatine isn't a bad man. He's known him all his life, and together, they can lead the galaxy into a prosperous future. The Senate has always been corrupt and ineffective. Padme's seen it firsthand, but now they can make sure actual change takes place in the galaxy. Padme hugs Anakin, telling him she's scared, and only wishes for a future for their children. Anakin hugs her back, and Padme begins crying, mentioning Obi-Wan's name. Padme enters labor a few days after, and together, Anakin and Palpatine go to the birth. They stand either side of her, meditating in the Force and channeling their energy into her. She successfully births the twins, Luke and Leia, and Anakin thanks Palpatine for his help. A few weeks pass, as Anakin and Padme share their family time together. They finally have everything they've ever wanted, and they can't be happier. Their love has no limits. However, during this time, Palpatine has been scheming. He managed to track down and capture Maul after he escaped Order 66. He manipulates the Dathomirian Sith, telling him he wants him by his side, but in order to do so, he has to do one thing first: kill Anakin Skywalker and his wife Padme Amidala. Maul agrees and tells his master he will not fail him. Maul begins scheming and finds the perfect time to strike. It's been 3 months since the birth of the twins, and Padme's decided it's time to return to the Senate. While she's being driven to office, Maul attacks her shuttle, kills the driver and guards, and successfully captures her. He sends Anakin a hollow recording of him with Padme tied up in a chair. He sends his location and states that to get her back alive, he must face him alone. Anakin considers telling Palpatine, but he can't risk anything that could bring harm to his wife. He travels to the industrial region of Coruscant, where his wife is being held. He exits his ship to see his wife tied up and Maul standing across from him.
I have waited a long time for this. Killing you will extract my revenge on Kenobi, who fell before I could reach him. However, before we begin, I must do something first.
As per Palpatine's request, Maul ignites his lightsaber and jams it through Padme, as Anakin watches in shock. Nothing he can do. Maul starts laughing, but stops as he senses it. The rage and hate building up within Anakin was like nothing he's ever sensed before. He backs up and balances himself as Anakin rushes towards Maul, screaming with all his rage. The duel doesn't last long. Anakin was levels above Maul, and with his rage, ended the Sith in a matter of seconds. He goes to Padme, clasping her lifeless body as tears roll down his face. He rushes back to the city and brings Padme in front of Palpatine. He proclaims they must act quickly if they are to save her, but it's all an act. He places her body down and they hold their hands together whilst placing the other on Padme. Together they meditate and chant, attempting to give some of their life force over to Padme, but it didn't work. Palpatine tells Anakin it was too late. Anakin turns around in rage as Palpatine smirks. He destroys the office out of rage and anger, but Palpatine manages to calm him down. He tells Anakin that through them and his children, Padme's legacy can live on. Together, they can control the galaxy and morph it into how Padme would have wanted. Together, they can bring peace and order to the galaxy for Padme. Anakin agrees, and they hold the funeral for the senator. The twins, only 3 months old, watch their mother's lifeless body. Palpatine has Anakin exactly where he wants him, the successor to his eternal Sith Empire. Vader will be the most powerful Sith Lord ever, and his children have the potential to be just as great. No entity will ever garner the strength to challenge them ever again, and the Sith will rule the galaxy. If you enjoyed this video, you have to watch what if Anakin had nightmares of Order 66, and what if Anakin was rejected by the Jedi Order. Let me know in the comments what you think would happen in the rest of the story. Would Anakin stay by Palpatine's side, or would he betray him and claim the galaxy for the Skywalkers? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.